Chris Rock is a big comedian who has been in the game for years due to how well he makes us laugh. His jokes have earned him a lot of good things, but to Will Smith, Chris has been terrorizing him. And that has led him to furiously reacting to Chris Rock's terror. At a point in time, it seemed like Chris Rock couldn't get Will Smith's name out of his mouth, as it wasn't the first time he'd make a joke about him. The joke that landed Chris a punch was not even about Will Smith, but Jada Pinkett Smith. And since then, we have expected Chris to say something about it, but instead, he had saved it for a show that will almost make it a year since the slap incident. However, Chris has made sure to say something about the slap now, and then within a year, the incident occurred. For example, when he was cracking a joke, he said, "I gotta watch what I say. You know, anybody that says words has hurt never been punched in the face." Chris has also hinted about that incident, even though he's never fully discussed it until during his Netflix show when he finally talked about what happened. While he was talking about Snoop Dogg, he just couldn't resist the urge to take a jab at Smith, saying, "I do not need another rapper mad at me." He's also dubbed Will Smith Suge Smith, making a clear reference to Suge Knight, the infamous rap mogul convicted of murder back in 2018. At a point, it became confusing why Chris kept talking about Will Smith. Is it that the slap hurt him real bad that he can't forget about it, or he's not even hurt by it? Well, Chris has made his feelings about the slap known, as he said, "It hurts." Back in March 2022, Chris had a stand-up show, which was the first after the slap. There he said, "I don't have a bunch of about what happened. So if you came here to hear that, I have a whole show I wrote before this weekend. I'm still kind of processing what happened. So at some point, I talk about that and it'll be serious and funny." Right there, we begin to anticipate this serious moment Chris promised. Again, in November 2022, Chris Rock announced his live Netflix special and included the fact that the time we've been all waiting for is near. We just needed to be ready for the Netflix special, which will come out with a deeper analysis of the slap. Here are his words. "People expect me to talk about the bullsh. I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'll get to it eventually on Netflix." This will make us look into the details of the first live stream event performed by Chris Rock on March 4th, where he openly discussed the slap. As Chris opened the show, he said, "I'm going to do a show tonight without offending nobody. I'm going to try my best because you never know who might get triggered. People always say words hurt. Anybody who says words hurt has never been punched in the face." Though the slap was not the only topic he talked about in the 4-hour special, he discussed dating, addiction, racism, a divided America, the Kardashians, his 2 daughters, abortion, Meghan Markle, woke culture, and the January 6th U.S. Capitol attack. Of course, some are more controversial than others. However, the moment we've all been waiting for was saved for the finale of the show. Before we get into details of what he said, it's important to note that Chris Rock mentioned how much he loved and rooted for Will Smith, especially as a fan, which means there was no bad blood initially. He then continued to say, "You all know what happened to me. It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ears, but I'm not a victim, baby. You'll never see me on Oprah or Gayle crying." He also poked fun at the disparity in size between Smith and himself, before labeling Smith as having experienced selective outrage when he slapped Chris during the 2022 Oscars after he made a joke about Pinkett Smith while presenting an award. Many people believe that Chris has gone too far by calling Pinkett Smith G.I. Jane, referencing her bald head. Remember how Pinkett Smith has publicly revealed she has alopecia, a condition that causes hair loss? Of course, it's not something anyone, especially a woman, would be happy to have. Even though Pinkett Smith didn't say anything about the remarks to Chris Rock, she was not happy about it. And her husband, who initially laughed at the joke, changed his opinion quickly as he stormed the stage and hit Chris. At that moment, it was as if everything stood still for a second. Even some reports revealed that Chris was too shocked to say anything at first. Chris then made an allegation about Pinkett during the show. He said the attack had less to do with himself and Pinkett Smith, who he claims started an ongoing feud with him because her husband was not nominated at the 2016 Oscars for his performance in Concussion. He said Pinkett approached him and told him to quit his job because of that. He also said, "Everybody that really knows I had nothing to do with that. I didn't have any entanglements. Chris was referring to July 2020, when Pinkett revealed she had an entanglement with singer August Alsina years earlier while she and her husband were on a break. He made fun of the fact that the two were once on an episode of the show to discuss the situation, saying he didn't believe they would bring out their dirty laundry in the open. Using the issue of the rumored infidelity of Pinkett Smith with a family friend, Chris made another joke on the family. "We've all been cheated on. Everybody in the industry has been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. She hurt him way more than he hurt me, okay?" About the rumor, Will has addressed it openly, saying, "There's never been infidelity about our marriage." To end his discussion on Will, Chris revealed the reason he didn't fight back after he was slapped on stage. He said, "You know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people." He then dropped his mic to a standing ovation from the crowd. Even though neither Will nor Pinkett Smith has responded since the show, Pinkett did wish the two would come together and settle their differences, as she said in addition of her Red Table Talk. "Deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men will have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile." Will Smith has made a video apologizing to the Academy and saying he has reached out to Chris Rock to meet whenever he's ready to talk. For this issue, we won't be seeing Will Smith at the Oscars for 10 years. And also, we don't know when Chris Rock will be back on the Oscar stage as well. He has refused to host this year's Oscars, and it is not clear if he'll ever be back on that stage.